Welcome everyone to another edition of Hardcore Wrestling Rants. I am your hardcore host, Rick Head, and I'm joined by the hardcore crew. But before I get to that, I need to make a special announcement. Unfortunately, this will be our last podcast for the foreseeable future. I want to thank everybody who's taken their time, who's been on the show with us, especially Lance and Joe. I also have our previous people, Kayla or Zoe, Andy, the son of a bitch, Andy Weatherwall, Billy from WGS, the Wrestle Gamer. He's been on there, and countless of other people who's helped us throughout the past 14 years. And for that, I want to say thank you. And if I left you people out, I do apologize. I will be making an announcement on our Wrestling Rants page for that. But before, let me continue on. We have from the Skull and Rumps, the Skull King himself, Joseph Knight. Joe, what's going on?
I know I'm somebody, damn it. You know what? It's been a fun time here. I look forward to when we can reboot.
Yeah, and like I said, it's not goodbye but it's just right now. It's just goodbye for now. Maybe for the summer, I need to go get drunk and high for a few months and and completely fall apart, and then maybe I'll say, let's do it again. But who fucking knows? And of course, from Lance Boss TV, he's the incomparable Lance Boss. Lance, what's shaking?
Not too much. And if you need a place to get drunk, I know a few joints.
Buddy, you'll be the first place I'll call.
Hell yeah.
All right, well, let's get into it. Last week on Dynamite, Jack Perry sucker punched Tony Khan, which brought out the Elite. At first, it looked as if they were going to berate Perry, but only it looks like as if the Bucks turned on Tony Khan and hit him with the EVP trigger and then finished him off with a spiked pile driver. This is the first time Tony Khan's ever taken a bump. And you know what, Joe? You and I were talking about this before the podcast started, and you said that Tony Khan, this was not a really good idea for Tony.
No, you know what? He is. I'm going to repeat the same thing I said. He is not Eric Bischoff. He's not Vince McMahon. He's still relatively new. So honestly, I don't see why this guy is getting involved in something like this. He is not ready for this. It just brings him more. It just brings more negativity from people that just don't like the guy. And honestly, I have to agree with them. Sometimes you need to get that little break where, how can I put it? He's just not ready for this. So honestly, I think what they need to do, he just needs to put somebody else to do it, like a GM that can handle the bumps and just act and do stuff like that. Just stay in the back, Tony, because you're not ready for this. This is not something that he should be involved in whatsoever.
Well, you know what? I agree with you. And I don't think, like I said, if we talked, I don't think he's going to be coming back for full match wrestling. And he shouldn't. I absolutely agree. This guy is who should stay out of the ring, no question. But also, I think that everybody didn't see that coming. I did not see Tony Khan getting attacked that night, especially not by the Elite.
You know what? Let me just say this. By him doing that, he reminds me of Herb Abrams of the old UWO. Koki himself. It was one of those things that I got to say, oh, man. It's just, I think he should not be involved in wrestling. He needs to just put the money in, let people who know what the hell they're doing do it, and just stay the hell back. So honestly, I don't know. Tony, what the hell are you doing?
Well, here's what I think he did, honestly. Because right now, who's ever getting the most heat right now, and that's Jack Perry. He put Jack Perry, not only did he bring him back, but he put him over like nobody else did. And I think, honestly, despite what people may think is a good idea or a bad idea, I think it was a great idea, personally. And now I don't know anything really about the wrestling business. I'm just a wrestling fan. I've been saying that for years. But I still think it was the right idea. Now, once the storyline's gone, I do think they should put a GM and have somebody else. We'll talk about that in a minute. But Lance, I want to get your input on what you thought of what happened last week on Dynamite.
Well, here's the thing. Should Tony Khan be actually in the ring? Hell no. Because if anybody in the wrestling, past wrestling, he's like, I think Andy Kaufman didn't have any business in there, but hey, he was. So now here's the thing. We all heard Shivani say, "Oh, Tony Khan's not here because he was not medically cleared." Well, here's the thing. I guarantee you could have flipped a few channels, whatever channel the NFL draft was on, probably ESPN or ABC, something like that, and there would have been Tony Khan with the neck brace, mind you. So he is keeping kayfabe on that one. But why not, Shivani? Why not just say that?
I think again they're trying to keep it inside the story rather than just and I think that's the idea is don't step outside of kayfabe. Yes, we know that Tony Khan owns the NFL Jaguars. We are co-owns, and we know that definitely his other business, so he does have to attend to that as well as AEW. Nobody's, we all get that. But I want to get back into as far as the storyline goes. Now, Joe, you were talking about a GM, and this week Tony Khan was going to be on AEW. I guess it's still going to be in the Jacksonville. It's going to be remotely. I'm not sure, but either way, he said that he's going to address the whole power struggle. And I think, honestly, they're going to bring in Kenny Omega. He's reportedly supposed to be on the show. But at what capacity? I don't think he's back as a wrestler because he's still out sick. He's still fighting that tuberculosis. So he's not going to be wrestling matches. But maybe, as you said, Joe, as a GM, made to take bumps, that might be a nice way to spin this whole story.
Again, it would be nice, and it's something that I would really welcome. But Herb Abrams, now I'm calling him Herb Abrams. Tony Khan getting involved and doing stuff like getting into really, how can I put it? Oh, hell, getting involved in anything wrestling related is not a good thing for the business, for himself, because he just looks like a mark. And that's his problem. He will look like a mark no matter what. It's one of those things that he needs to step away. People already badmouth him, regardless if it's good or bad. It's still a situation where he's involved. Look at that picture. The man is lying flat prone, stretched out like he's on a surfboard. It's not like a real knockout. His arms are stretched up. He's like he's on the rack.
Rack him!
Yeah, it's like stretch him a little more. Maybe we can make him into a 6-footer. It just looks ridiculous. And okay, Jack Perry, I have nothing against Jack Perry. He was good for the time, and he was a good heel when he left. But to ally himself with the EVPs, who are the Bucks, just reinforces my feelings that now they're putting themselves over in the storyline again. The egos are back, and they're putting themselves over. Why couldn't it be the House of Black? Why couldn't it be anybody else except the Elite?
Well, I think I'm going to answer that for you. First and foremost, it's not just Jack. If it was just the Young Bucks, then I'd be like, okay, but you have two other people in that line that they're going to be putting over. First, of course, they have Jack Perry, and then they have the international champion. I can't pronounce Okada.
Yeah.
And or the Painmaker. So these two guys, they're getting a lot of heat and they're getting a lot of push from this, Joe. And I think this whole storyline, even after Tony Khan kind of fades away, we're going to see these two guys get the push.
Let's see how this goes. But I don't know. It's like Okada being in there looks like one of these guys sure don't belong here. And it's not like it's against his wrestling skills. He just doesn't look like he fits with the Elite. He looks like he should be with a different contingent, like a pure, I'm not saying Japanese group, like all Japanese, a Japanese contingent, like guys who came from Japan that could be like an elite group that will try to take over because they're, the Japanese try to buy everything. That kind of storyline. Again, I stare at this picture. It looks like the Young Bucks have bubble heads. The Tony, what's his name? Freaking Jack Perry looks like he's Kevin Owens' younger brother. Okada's just standing there. Who the motherfucker are these people here?
Hey, for one, the last time in a little while, that's Joe at SkullsandShow.com.
I had to sneak that in there. And Tony Khan looks like, he's just lying stretched out there like he saw his oil stocks go down. Oh, man. Dad, did we lose money? Do we lose money? Yes. Boom. He drops down.
Or rather than that, you could say it looked like he was back in his college days where he was drunk, passed out.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's move things along.
He's in the deserts back in Saudi Arabia saying, okay, please, you can give me water now.
Well, one last note. I guess Tony Khan is we all have been talking about how he's wearing that neck brace. In a recent interview, it said that Tony Khan, when he no longer needs the neck brace, he's going to sell it, and all the profits will go to charity. That'll be interesting.
Sure. All the charity that's AEW, because he's probably going to need money. Because have they drawn a profit? Have they drawn anything? Have their ratings gone up? I think this is just another thing to try to grab straws and try to build up what can it be. It's a glorified indie company. You got big men in here who are pushed to like third, like mid card or a low card, while jackoffs like the Young Bucks, who haven't presented a very good idea and don't listen to anybody who has an idea, just runs rampant. And now they got this little elite group. What's that mean? That they're going to bring back Hangman Page to go up against them? Are they going to bring Kenny Omega when he's cleared to go against them?
I think it's just another stable they just rehashed. And, and again, Kenny Omega is going to be on here tonight on Dynamite, which I'm really looking forward to seeing. I really want to see how this all plays out. And I know a lot of other people are just throwing their hands up and saying, you know what, AEW's a lost cause, whatever. You know what, I'll still buy their pay-per-views. I'll still watch them on TV because I'm a wrestling fan and I love AEW. So,
and there's the alternative.
Kenny's clear. You know how we'll know when Kenny is clear? He will start taking bombs.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's move things along. God. Darby Allin. This poor bastard cannot catch a break.
Damn.
All right. I don't know if you heard about this one, Joe, but over the weekend, Darby Allin, while recovering from his foot injury, got hit by a New York bus.
Well, maybe he was trying to take a new bump.
Well,
and it didn't work out well.
Well, actually, it worked out pretty well for him, considering he only broke his nose and still found his way to go to a Broadway show later that night.
This idiot gets hit by a bus, and he goes to a concert instead of going to a hospital.
He went to a hospital.
After or before?
He was hit. It was in the afternoon, and then he went to the Broadway show like 5 or 6 hours later.
Okay, so that makes sense. Because knowing this idiot, he probably tried to. Yeah, knowing this idiot, he probably ran a skateboard into trying a new bump to see if he can work in AEW. Let me try this high spot.
Yeah, and I don't know, Lance, but for once I actually kind of felt sorry for the guy. I'm like, this guy can take everything, but
except
I don't think
the city bus.
Yeah, except the bus. But apparently we can now.
Well, I mean, he's still walking around.
Yeah.
But I know they call it Stone Cold the toughest son of a bitch in wrestling. We might have a new contender for that title because broke his foot going working towards climbing Everest, finished a match, then 2 months later gets hit by a bus, still goes to a freaking Broadway show. He might be part adamantium. I'm just saying.
If not the toughest, I could definitely say he's the craziest son of a bitch.
Now my question is, who's at fault, him or the bus driver?
Well, he wasn't jaywalking.
That's Darby Allin. Let me run the little fucker over because he only does high spots. Boom, ba-doom. Yeah, he'll like it. He'll go back and try to do
You know
it
what?
again.
Maybe the bus driver was a WWE fan.
There you go.
You know.
No, in all seriousness, that's a good question to ask. Was he on his skateboard riding?
No, he
down
was
the hill on
walking.
the-
He even said he was walking in a crosswalk, no less.
Oh, well, then that's time. You know what, Jack? You know what? What this idiot should have done? He should have stayed on the floor, gone to the hospital, cried bloody murder, and then sue the city of New York's transportation for that bus hitting him. Not fucking go to a Broadway show, you fucking idiot. I hope he gets hit by.
Seen the price of those tickets?
You know what? I hope he gets hit by 3 more buses, a subway train, and gets dropped by one of those Boeing 747s drops off the sky and hits him.
Oh God.
Damn.
And then an old lady hits him with an umbrella just to fuck with him more. You're an idiot, Darby. You should have laid on the ground. You should have wait for the ambulance, sue the shit out of New York, and that way maybe they would have sent all those migrants back to the across the fucking border, and you would have had all their money, and maybe you could have bought yourself a new fucking skateboard, you stupid Mark. Maybe he'll get Triple H's nose.
Well, maybe that's what he's doing. He wants a nose job. He wants that big ass, nose that Triple H has. Maybe it might be an improvement for him. Who knows? All right. Well,
I like the tattoo on his head, though. It's close to reality. The Grim Reaper was reaching for him.
Just couldn't get a quick grip. All right. While we're talking about injuries, so we have a lot more injuries. Right now, Julia Hart, she is out with an undisclosed injury. Powerhouse Hobbs injured his knee last week on Dynamite. Drew McIntyre is out with a hyperextended elbow from WrestleMania. And also Dominic Mysterio is also out with a similar with an elbow injury. And the last person that on the list is Jimmy Uso of the Bloodlines, not Jey Uso, who is out with is an unclosed injury. I don't know, Joe. Why do wrestlers always want to hide their injuries? I understand maybe years ago why they had to work and they didn't want to announce it would hurt, but in today's era, in today's world with the internet, everybody knows if you're out hurt. So why hide it?
Well, you know what? Honestly, let's say this all honesty, even though it's today, that could set back their stories, their storylines, any pushes further back. So let's say, which one was it? Which DUI brother was it, Jimmy or Jay?
It's Jimmy. It's Jimmy is out.
All right. So the other one was the one that is still riding around DUI. All right. Well, this idiot, he probably, they probably were going to give him a push. And you want to hide the injuries because if you have an injury that's going to take you out, then your storylines now get pushed to the back, and you don't know when you might be pushed up. So that could be a big issue within, it still is in wrestling. So you never know what kind of stuff you're going to get. So honestly, I think that is why you see this whole scenario with everything happening. It's because of that one factor. So, hopefully all these people that are injured, decide that they're going to be a little smarter with themselves later. But with themselves, I don't shed a bloody tear for either one of them.
All right.
I wish it would have been something more funny though, like getting hit by a sanitation truck, because then they would have been taking out the garbage anyway.
Oh Jesus! All right, Lance, your thoughts on all these wrestlers out and some of them just refusing not to, or these undisclosed injuries?
Well, this ain't ballet. Is the first thing, and when somebody says those two words when they're injured, undisclosed injury. You know what always makes me think? Repackage.
Really?
Yeah.
Or vacation.
Yeah,
Or
that too.
In Julia's case, Well, she's newly married. Newly married couples do certain things. She might be knocked up.
Knocked up, or maybe the hubby's saying, you know what, honey, you know what, can you make your tits bigger for me? I mean, don't get me wrong, I love Julia Hart. She's a sweetheart. She's excellent in the ring, but yeah, she's a little
I
flat.
would just put that as a stretch. She's excellent in the ring. I would say
I disagree. I think she's come a long way from when she first
She's come a
started.
long way since that cheerleader gimmick.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh well,
she's
that,
made leaps
yeah.
and bounds. So I think, honestly, when she was the TBS champion, I think she did some great stuff in the ring.
She definitely needs a boob job. So go to work for that. Get to work, little girl. And for God's sake, stop being a female Undertaker.
Well, I don't think she's a female.
She got that over.
Yeah, but
gets it over.
yeah, and I mean, everybody likes that gimmick, especially that she's, she didn't just do it as a solo. She's a part of a gimmick that she was turned into, this, like evil gimmick, and I really like it, and she transitioned to it well, and I think it works.
Hell, Taker even calls her Tiny Taker.
Really? That
Yeah.
I did not know. That is very interesting. And you know what? For somebody like The Undertaker to give her that kind of acclimate, that says something.
Oh, it all depends if it's a good thing or a bad thing.
I don't think he would call her tiny or make her, would make any reference to her as a taker if he didn't have any kind of respect for her.
Yeah.
So that's just, that's my opinion again. But what do I know?
Yeah.
So, all right. This Saturday is Backlash France. I didn't even know it was this Saturday. I didn't realize that until yesterday. I'm like, holy shit. But it's Backlash, and Backlash only has like a small handful of matches, and they have 5 matches. And I've not watched WWE since WrestleMania, and I already can pretty much pick out these matches, and I haven't seen a few of them. The first one we're going to talk about is Randy Orton and Kevin Owens will go against Solo Sikoa and Tama Tonga. Now, guys, I'm going to say it right out the bat. We know that the Bloodline brothers are going to win, Sikoa and Tama Tonga. If these guys lose, I'd be shocked. So, Lance, I'm going to give you the first pick.
Wow, I think this is going to be probably one of the better matches of this show. And y'all know I've never been the biggest fan of tag matches, but, well, I'm excited to see what Tama Tonga can do in a WWE ring. We've seen what he can do in a New Japan ring. Let's see what he can do in a WWE ring, and I will also go with Solo and Tama.
All right, Joe, over to you.
Yeah, I will go for the New Islanders. Obviously, they're going to try to push these 2 pieces of garbage. So, all because their relatives are the fucking Rock and Roman Reigns. Not because they have good merits, but because they're related.
Joe, easy. That's Haku's son. We're not trying to die over here.
Adopted
Hey,
son. Right?
I have all the respect.
Tama Tonga is Haku's legitimate son.
Okay,
Yeah.
I was reading controversy, but
No. I say I respect the shit out of Haku Ming. He's a legitimate badass, but until I can really see what his kid can do, and it's not part of a storyline where they could just hand him wins, then I know it's all choreographed and everything is to be determined. But I want to see the guy actually do something. He should have been in NXT. He should have been doing that and making his way up, not just, here you go, fuck you, let's put you with this other fucking Taz wannabe, and let's go, let's do the Islanders.
Well, I have to say, I saw a couple of his matches in New Japan Pro Wrestling. I have to say, he's probably even better than, although he's not as popular, I'd say he's probably a better wrestler than his, oh my god, I can't think right now, than his brothers.
Haku.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I was going to say Roman Reigns. My brain had a small brain thing. But anyways, we're going to move on. There's going to be a women's triple threat match for the WWE Women's Championship. So Bayley's going to have to defend herself against Naomi and Tiffany Stratton. Now, I honestly say that Tiffany Stratton's time is coming, but it's not just now considering Bayley just got the title. So for her to be a transitional champion, to hand it over to Tiffany, that would be kind of a slap in the face. So You know what, Joe? I think Bailey's keeping the title on this match.
Absolutely. Bailey just won it. You hit the nail on the head for that one. Plus, she's hot right now. You know, she's moving along again. Her career's picked up all over again. And I think this is a good time for her to stay doing what she's doing. You gotta keep, I don't want to see really either an established player like Charlotte or somebody win that belt back. I would like to see somebody new establish themselves and then push them up. So is Tiffany Stratton there? Not yet. She still needs a little bit more, but give it time. And like I said, maybe down the road. But Bailey, it's too early for Bailey to lose that belt. The Bailey belt's gonna stay.
Absolutely. Lance, over to you.
The only way I would see them taking the belt off of her is if she was hurt, and that's just not the case. So, well, the Hugger's going to win this one.
Yeah, I have to, again, it makes sense. So unless, like you said, if she gets hurt in the match, I have to call an audible. Bailey's got to walk away with the championship. Now, this one title match, it's a women's tag team championships. The Kabuki Warriors will have to face off against Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. Now, this tag team is a powerhouse tag team. And I would really like to see them build this tag team over a couple of weeks before they got to run at the titles. For them to do it right now, I think it's too soon. Despite I know they want to put maybe a title on Jade, and Bianca obviously is a former champion, so she has her. She was won her shot for at least a championship. But I'm not sure if they're ready to give them the titles yet, Joe.
No, they just established them, and I called it. They should have put that team together, and they did. It tells you finally somebody with some intelligence is going to use Jade for something. Honestly, at this point in time, I see the Kabuki Warriors winning, or I see Jade. No, I'm sorry. I see Jade and Bianca winning by disqualification due to the mist in one of their faces.
There you go.
I don't see them. This keeps the straps on the Kabuki Warriors. It keeps them strong. That heel push, and it doesn't make the other team, Bianca and Jade, look bad because they can still they still won a match even though they didn't win the title. So rematch down the line. I say this is going to build up to maybe a possible SummerSlam match. So I'm going to go with Bianca and Jade by DQ due to the mist.
All right, Lance, your pick.
Okay. Bianca's been kind of teasing a little bit of a heel turn. I could see her turning on Jade, and thus the Kabuki Warriors keeping their belts.
Well, if you're going to go in that direction, I think she's going to turn on Jade. I'm guessing it's going to be something's going to happen during the match, and there's going to be some kind of miscommunication, which would cause the Warriors to get the win.
Yeah.
So that is a strong possibility. So let's move on to our final two title matches. First is the World Heavyweight Champion, Damian Priest, will take on Jey Uso. Jay's tried for the title, I think this is the second or third time, getting a chance. I know that he faced Seth Rollins and lost. So is it Jey Uso's time, Lance, or is he just going to keep on getting the pass over?
Here's the thing. I can legitimately see Judgment Day costing Damian Priest the title, like by accident, and we have the new Yeet champion.
Really? Okay.
Go ahead.
A lot of cracks in the Judgment Day right now. Like, I honestly think by SummerSlam, Judgment Day will not be a thing.
Really? All right. Joe, your thoughts?
Jey Uso win a world championship? Shit. Come on now. The only thing he'll win a title of is being the best DOI guy. That piece of garbage does not belong in a world title rankings. He needs to be further down the, like maybe an NXT championship, or maybe even hell, a lesser means championship, like
U.S.
the U.S.
champion, maybe?
Yes. Is that piece of garbage ready for that type of win? Hell no. He's not proven himself. He's a tag team guy, and even that is he's okay in that. But the yeet thing and him getting all these shots and his pushes, WWE must be desperate to keep on good terms with the fucking Rock's family, or with The Rock, or The Rock is putting all these matches together and say, hey, you know what? Fuck, I'll give this ham and egg a shot. Maybe make it look good. Let's give these fucking New Islanders a shot. You know, it's just ridiculous. This is just pushing again the family. I'm surprised they haven't fucking wheeled out Alpha and Sika and propped them up in the corner of the ring just to be there for props.
Wow. No hate there, huh?
No, you know what? And I respect the Anoy family. They're very sweet people. You know what? And they are. Rikishi is fucking awesome. Hell, I know one of the Anoy family personally, and he was going to sell me his ring before he moved to Florida to open a school down there. The thing I see is when you push the same people constantly over and over, people tend to get bored of the show. And in this opinion, Jey Uso doesn't have the perfect record. He got one WrestleMania win. Ooh, wow, over your fucking brother. You know, let's just say you didn't do anything extravagant. You didn't do anything important. All right, let me see him in a war with someone serious. And for the U.S. title, possibly. You know, then I'll have some respect for him, and if he can stay without being DUI. So, could care less about the Bloodline story, could care less about Roman Reigns, could care less about the Usos. Big props to the rest of the Anoy family, but for the current ones, fuck no. Let them go climb a tree and eat some coconuts.
Wow.
Why you've got a lovely bunch of coconuts.
Where's Roddy? Too bad Roddy Piper's dead. He would have cracked a bunch of coconuts on all their heads. Here's some coconuts. Here's some bananas. Here's some stuff. You know.
All right. Lance, your pick.
I think that by hook or crook, the Judgment Day is going to accidentally cost Damian the match and the belt, and thus the crumbling will begin.
Okay. Well, and the last match I want to talk about is the undisputed WWE champion Cody Rhodes will defend his title against AJ Styles. Now, this myself, I have to say, I want to see. This should be a great, excellent match. I love Cody Rhodes and I love AJ Styles, but I can already see that Cody's going to hold this title. Cody is not going to drop this title unless it gets hurt anytime soon. He's going to have this for the long run because WWE has pushed him that far, and to get him to this one spot where he's not going to go down anytime soon. So, Lance, I'm going to start with you first.
Well, all due respect to AJ Styles. To quote He Who Shall Not Be Named's music, you got no chance in hell in winning this one. After the year and some change of the storyline that Cody just went through, he's keeping this belt for at least 6 months, if not till next WrestleMania.
Yeah, I have to agree with you there. There's also rumors that Cody could be turning heel, but I don't see that happening right now the way he's being pushed. Yeah. All right, Joe, over to you. Your pick on this match.
You know what? Finally, a decent match. I love AJ Styles. I think he's a great. He's worthy of being in that top tier. See, that's a guy who's in the top tier, not fucking an Uso. Yeah, Cody's not going to lose this belt. He just won it. He's still needs to hold that belt. I see more. If he's going to lose, it's going to be further down, maybe after SummerSlam. That's my concept. That's what I believe. So otherwise, I don't see him losing the belt. It's going to be a hell of a great match. Maybe even they might shake hands and give respect to AJ at the end. So who knows? But I want to see Cody take on Randy Orton. I want to see him take on Kevin Owens. I want to see him take on the other elite members of the roster. So, I want him, honestly, I want him to win the belt that his dad never won. Yeah, you could say he never won the universal title because it didn't exist around Dusty's time. I want to see him win that coveted world heavyweight champion, the real championship belt.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, there's also the rumors that, I guess AJ Styles even said when he re-signed 5 years ago that 2024 is going to be his last year. He wanted to slow down. He wanted to spend time with his family, and a lot of people believe that he's just going to retire and just kind of step away. I'm not sure if he's going to retire full time. I think he might be a part-time wrestler because I'm sure the WWEs want to keep him on the payroll in case he decides to say, you know what, no, I want to go back to wrestling. He goes to AEW by chance, or even back to New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Yep, and which is a smart thing to do. I think what they're going to do is keep him as happy as they can be. He is a moneymaker. He's a guy that you want to keep around. So, in my opinion, keep AJ Styles happy. Let's move him in the right direction, and bring him in every now and let him let him build like freaking Leukemia Boy who keeps taking time off and comes back and makes big money. Just give him give AJ the well-deserved a month, like 2 months off. Bring him back to do a big match. Take him off for 2 months. Give him a good run and a good contract. The man deserves it. He's beaten up his body enough. It's not like Roman Reigns. So I think AJ deserves that, and I think for this show, he's just going to get that. He's not going to win, but he's going to get that respect.
Yeah, absolutely. Right now, going back while talking about AEW, Kenny Omega did an interview, and he talked that he's pretty much all done with doing those exploding death matches. And pretty much short, I guess it was due to the last death match that he wasn't in. Which one was where they drank his blood? Remember that one part where I forget the segment that shows you how fucking my brain works. And
it shows you how forgettable the fucking match was.
No, because I remember it. I just can't. Anyways, He just said it was like he's pretty much just. I think he's getting to that age where he can't do that shit anymore. I think is what he was trying to say. He says there's too much craziness in those type of matches, so I think he's now just wants to go to do his regular thing, especially now that he's also dealing with diverticulitis. Diverticulitis. So, Lance, what's your thoughts on that?
Well, him doing death matches never really made sense because really the only place he did them was AEW. New Japan? No, he just did his Kenny Omega shit. Hell, look at the match he had with Jericho a few years ago in New Japan.
Yeah.
The Omega versus the Painmaker. That's Kenny Omega style.
All right. So, Joe, your thoughts on Kenny Omega dialing it back down and not doing any more death matches?
He's a fucking smart person. It's about time one of those jackoffs fucking realize that shit is not worth doing.
Real class, cry me a river.
Yeah, fuck.
And now that other guy is in WWE making a lot more money.
Yeah, fuck. Why would you want to kill yourself, even though they're probably making good money? But why the fuck would you want to blow yourself up and have yourself really go into a situation where you're going to get hurt constantly? It's a high probability that you are going to get seriously hurt. It's not a smart thing. It's a situation where I was like, well, you know what? John Moxley does it because he has no brain cells, but he can go home to his wife Renee, so that's worth doing that.
Yeah.
But honestly, if Omega says, "Hey, I'm dialing this back," that's the smartest thing that man ever done in his life. Because you don't want to keep putting your body through it. Look at all the damage. It shortens your life because all the hardcore garbage. You're shortening your existence. What is wrong with you people? Well, that should be outlawed. If you're gonna do a hardcore match, you should be medically cleared mentally cleared. So I don't know, Rick.
All right. Well, I guess this year's draft, WWE draft, was kind of lackluster. A lot of the team, they didn't break up any teams. They didn't break up any factions like they've done in the past. And most of the champions pretty much stayed pretty much right where they are. The only real significant things was the call-ups from NXT. I think they had two or three people from NXT. I know they had Carmelo Hayes, Lance. If there was any other ones,
it was Carmelo, Dragunov, which I'm excited to see what he can do with Walter again, or Gunther. Dijak.
Yeah, that shows you how well those fuckers are known.
Well, again, these guys are NXT, so and these guys are called up, so this is their next step to see if they can go that far.
The reason that the champions didn't move brands in the draft, it was said that the champs are protected. They are not. The champs aren't going anywhere in any of the brands.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know why. I understand that WWE had to quote unquote shake things up again, but there was really no point to it. I think they just did that just for the for the views. I think
they did it because the NFL draft. Why not? Let's do the same thing and let's see who we can pull in. That's the only reason you would do something like that. It's just to try to get as much eyes on your brand and away from everybody else. So that's why they did that.
And I guess Dijak, whatever it is, when he got called up, his future was not solid. There was rumors that he was going to get released because he was at the end of his NXT contract. And with NXT, you're there pretty much just on. You could be there one day and gone the next.
You either go up or you go out.
Yeah, exactly. So, and there was already, there was rumors that he was gone for the company, but apparently they decided to bring him back up and repackaged him. So, hopefully this time around he'll be able to, rise up and become a better wrestler, or what I say, get pushed as a better wrestler, should I say? All right, guys. Well, we're going to wrap up this edition of Hardcore Wrestling Rants. Again, I want to thank everyone who is listening, and I want to thank all of you in the past who have been a part of HWR, whether we were Hardcore Wrestling Radio or now Hardcore Wrestling Rants. I want to thank, of course, Joe and Lance, who have been here for the past couple of years, and, of course, Zoe, if you're listening, I want to thank you as well, who also came in when you had your chance. So I just want to thank you guys. All right. So for the, I guess we're going to wrap that up. Joe, you're over at Skull and Realms. Tell everybody about it.
Well, folks, you know what? I am not doing Scolders Realm currently. I am doing the WWO Live, which is we're a virtual wrestling promotion on Twitch and YouTube and Facebook. And right now, if you're interested in watching us, just check us out. Every Thursday night, we do Off Scripts podcast, which talks about professional wrestling in our group, plus what we do to put a show together, and you get to know the different people in the company. We have our next show coming up, WWO Zone, which is next week, the 11th. I believe it's a Thursday. And that we're building up to our big Wrestle Clash show in May 25th. So make sure you check us out. Again, do the hashtag WWO Live, and you'll see us on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. And we're also on X right now, the formerly Twitter, at WWO Wrestling Live.
All right, Lance, you're over at Lance Moss TV. What do you got going on over there?
Well, every Tuesday night we go live on Lance TV and Friends. Coffee time at 7:05 Central, 8:05 Eastern, and anywhere else you do the math. And I do have a couple of episodes of Redneck Gourmet coming down the pipe, and a guitar build.
All right, well, we definitely look forward to seeing that. So, for the Hardcore Crew, I am your Hardcore host saying, we'll see you when we see you.
Bye there!